up, Tzu Chi volunteers in South Africa and Paraguay hold aid distributions for their respective aid recipients. In Taiwan, we learn more about domestic violence and how victims can seek help. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. Almost 8 months have passed since last year's Typhoon Haiyan devastated Leyte province in the Philippines. Yet the Tzu Chi Foundation continues to help disaster survivors find ways to get back on their feet. To help students resume their studies in school, Tzu Chi volunteers not only provided them with prefabricated classrooms, but also helped damaged schools rebuild. To date, Tzu Chi has helped 32 schools fix 195 classrooms.
8 months after Typhoon Haiyan, disaster survivors in the central Philippines have already wiped off their tears and begun a new life. Returning to school is no longer a dream for students. Next to Tzu Chi's prefabricated classroom is a yellow school building whose roof was destroyed by the strong winds brought by Typhoon Haiyan. As it rains, the roof leaks. At another school in Leyte, some students are studying in a damaged classroom. Others, however, have their class in a tent outdoors. Even the school's podium serves as a temporary classroom. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers act to contractors to help damaged schools to fix their buildings.
We cannot contribute any monetary donations, but we can help with the rebuilding, and we are happy to be able to do so.
Malaking tulong talaga.
Actually, the students are very excited to move into the newly reconstructed buildings.
Are very much eager to transfer.
Tzu Chi provided new roofs that are not only waterproof, but also help block the sun's heat. Studying in the newly refurbished classrooms, students are more than grateful.
Before, we had our class in a tent, so every time it rained, the tent collapsed and the rainwater inundated us. Thank you very much for fixing our classrooms. They are now much more beautiful and we feel relaxed when attending class.
Volunteer selfless love has inspired students' parents to join their ranks, as they not only help with painting but also cleaning. Now the prefect classrooms have been transformed into the school's cafeteria and the staff's office. Thanks to Tzu Chi, students are now able to resume their studies as usual.
Following the floods which ravaged Paraguay in June, Tzu Chi volunteers continued to distribute aid and necessities to affected residents. At the latest distribution in Limpio, 920 residents received Tzu Chi's aid. Meanwhile, in South Africa, before the school holidays, Tzu Chi volunteers held rice distributions at 5 schools in Bloemfontein to ensure students don't go hungry during their winter break.
Though the sun is shining and the sky is clear, there is still a chill in the air. Winter has finally set in here in South Africa, and temperatures have plunged into single digits. Students rub their hands together ferociously, trying to keep warm. Today, volunteers are going to warm up their hearts with love.
We come from Taiwan, but we represent Taiwan. Taiwan Tzu Chi Foundation. We hope before school closes, we are here. Give the rice for you.
School holidays are supposed to be the happiest time for students, but because of poverty, many students here are on the brink of starvation. To ensure students don't go hungry, Tzu Chi volunteers are here to help.
Before the school close, so that we can give them rice, so that before the school close, they can take rice home, and then they must stay home at winter.
Distributions took place in 5 schools across Bloemfontein over 9 days. Volunteers thoughtfully provided buckets to make it easier for residents to carry their aid supplies home. No matter how difficult life may be, residents still want to reciprocate this kindness. Amidst the winter's cold, a bag of rice warms the hearts of all. The piles of aid supplies stacked on the table have been prepared for the flood survivors in Limpio by the Tzu Chi Ascension Liaison Office. 230 families arrived to receive Tzu Chi's aid. Tzu Chi volunteers guided seniors, pregnant mothers, and those with children to the front of the line. Now a regular at Tzu Chi's distribution events, Taiwan Ambassador to Paraguay, Jose Maria Liu, extends his care and blessings to the affected families and joins Tzu Chi volunteers in praying for the flood survivors. Despite the limited space, the distribution is carried out in an orderly manner. The hearts of recipients and givers alike are filled with gratitude, and the fears and anxiety of these flood survivors have been eliminated by Tzu Chi's love and compassion.
To bring Indonesia Timah members closer together, Tzu Chi volunteers regularly organize gatherings. As their most recent get-together coincided with Ramadan, volunteers decided to host an iftar dinner instead. Also, a wide variety of vegetarian dishes were prepared to encourage Timah members to take on a vegetarian diet.
Timah's missions in Indonesia have flourished, entering its 12th year of establishment. To bring medical volunteers closer together, Jakarta Tzu Chi volunteers organized an iftar gathering for Timah members and staff of Indonesia Tzu Chi Hospital.
We participate in the iftar gathering every year as it brings us medical volunteers closer together. Although most of us are not Muslim, we nevertheless celebrate the occasion together. As we are always busy conducting free clinics, this event really gives us the opportunity to interact.
As part of the religious observance in Islam, all food and drink is prohibited between sunrise and sunset for the entire month of Ramadan. Volunteers thus seized the opportunity to host an iftar dinner for medical volunteers. Even the Catholic Hartonos gladly took part.
This is a fantastic event as we observe iftar with everyone, regardless of faith or religion. It also gives us the opportunity to interact with other doctors and get to know one another.
Preparations for the event began 3 weeks prior. Using Tzu Chi's instant rice to create a variety of dishes, volunteers hope to encourage participants to adopt a vegetarian diet.
I think vegetarianism is really great. My body feels really light. I am not hot-tempered like before, and I have more patience now. If you had known me 6-7 years ago, you would know that I was a very impatient person. But I have changed since taking on a vegetarian diet. Even my friends say that I am a changed person now.
At the end of the dinner, Timah doctors donated their full bamboo coin banks. Embracing people of different faiths and religions with respect and tolerance, love brings hope to this Muslim nation.
From Indonesia to Taiwan, we meet a father and son pair who decided to walk across the island to help the son build his social skills. But first, we follow a group of new immigrants and their children as they join a round the island cycling event launched by the Good Shepherd Social Welfare Services to deliver supplies to the less fortunate children.
To spread their love and care to underprivileged children across Taiwan, 7 new immigrants and their children joined the Round the Island cycling event launched by the Good Shepherd Social Welfare Services.
Through our 12-day Round the Island cycling event, we hope to bring supplies to needy children. It is a good chance to let members of the public understand that many of these new immigrants have been transformed from receivers to givers.
According to a survey conducted by the organization, discrimination towards new immigrants is very common in Taiwan. The discrimination often has to do with background and social status, and many believe their children tend to have bad manners. Besides aiming to break free from these false perceptions, this group of new immigrants also wants to help those in greater need. Despite the long distance to be traveled, for many it is an unforgettable experience.
When we arrived at the children's home, I was extremely sad and kept crying. I saw so many children waiting for a chance to feel the warmth of family. Every day, all they do is wait.
每天在那边等待。
When we visited the children's home, I discovered that there was only one person looking after so many of them. I feel really bad because their mothers aren't there to care for them. I'm very lucky.
Despite the challenges, in 12 days, the team traveled 938 kilometers and delivered much-needed supplies to many needy children, proving that love has no boundaries. Meanwhile, in DaAi County, walking under the scorching sun is Xu Guohua and his son.
2 years ago, when I walked across the island, the first bottle of water I received from members of the public came when I reached Kendin. This time, however, we have been receiving free bottled water almost every day.
When we asked the father-son pair why they insisted on continuing their tour despite the hot weather and foot blisters, she said the purpose of the trip was to challenge their determination and boost their stamina.
让你支撑下去的力量是什么？
都想完成这个旅程吧。
为什么想完成？
就觉得这样，如果是半途而废的话，都觉得好像没什么意义。
他是很优秀的孩子。
He is an excellent child, but too shy. We hope that he can interact with more people through our trip. His teacher asked him to take at least 10 pictures with different people every day. Now 7 out of the 10 pictures have been taken with the female.
严格一点，要求至少要跟7位女生照相。
As a result of their round the island trip, the bond between the father-son pair has grown stronger than ever, and Xu's son has also improved his social skills.
In Taiwan, the Domestic Violence Prevention Act came into force 16 years ago. To protect victims, the government established a special hotline, 113, exclusively for domestic violence. On average, the line receives more than 300 calls a day. Let's see how the capital city, Taipei, deals with these calls.
发生了有人劫持小孩的案件，还压制嫌犯。不过这小孩呢，家中，那么他劫持了。
This year, there have already been several fatalities due to domestic violence, which made national headlines and shocked the nation. Where can victims of domestic violence go? Where can they find a shelter to comfort and nurture them? Where can they call home?
In 2013, there were about 130,000 reported cases of domestic violence in Taiwan. On average, some 300 cases occurred daily, of which 10% were in Taipei. Every municipality handles domestic violence differently. In Taipei, the city government works together with 4 NGOs, and the city's 12 districts are grouped into 5 areas.
Often, victims of domestic violence run away from home, wondering if they should return.
Hi, hello, is this Miss He? Hi, Miss He, I'm Miss Zhen. I'm a social worker with Modern Women's Foundation. I'm calling regarding the domestic violence complaint you filed. Yes, so how are you now? You're okay? Where are you currently?
Most of the time, they do return because they simply have nowhere else to go, so the violence continues.
Our cases are assigned to us by the city's Domestic Violence Prevention Center. The center takes all the city's complaints and assigns them to different agencies according to area. Our social workers will provide counseling and meet up with the clients. We will also provide legal counseling so they know their rights.
The government has established an agency to battle domestic abuse. All the victims have to do is to call for help.
This is the Domestic Violence Counseling Station at the Taipei District Court. We social workers are stationed here to provide immediate support to victims of domestic violence. We help put them at ease and help them file for personal protection orders. We also provide legal counseling, accompaniment in court, individual counseling, and referral services.
Personal protection orders can be filed to protect the victim's right to live freely. If the perpetrator ignores the protective order and approaches the victim may call the police to have the perpetrator arrested. He will be in prison for up to 3 years and will also be fined up to about $3,300. The victim should properly use the protection period of the order to sort out their affairs and restart their lives away from the perpetrator. For the rest, to turn a blind eye is to condone the violence.
Please
pay more attention to those around you, be they your neighbors, friends, or family members. By showing that we care, we can stop violence from spreading. If you suspect someone might be a victim of domestic abuse, lend a helping hand by calling 110 or 113. Together, we can minimize domestic violence and the suffering of victims.
Everyone has the right to say no to violence, and everyone has the power to fight against violence by standing up against it.
Ma方惠英of Penang, Malaysia, lost her husband in 2006. With 6 children and an elderly mother-in-law to care for, the family was taken under Tzu Chi's wings. After starting to watch DaAi TV some 2 years ago, they slowly learned to let go of their sorrow. Ms. Fang is even training to become a volunteer so she can become a giver rather than a recipient.
Just watch DaAi TV. See how the children in other countries have no food to eat and can't go to school? You need to learn to be grateful. In my day, going to school was difficult. You need to cherish the opportunity to learn.
As she works, Fang Huiying of Penang, Malaysia, is also teaching her 6 children. Since they installed the equipment to enable them to watch DaAi TV in 2012, watching the station's programs has become an important family event.
My god-sister's daughter helped me install it. She said, "You have many children. They can learn a lot by watching DaAi TV." So, at 7:45, they will turn on the TV and watch the master's broadcast to take in the Dharma.
Miss Fang had a happy family once, but in 2006, she lost her husband to the flu. The family was suddenly at a loss without their pillar. Thanks to a friend's introduction, the family was taken under Tzu Chi's wing. Watching DaAi TV for the past 2 years has helped a lot.
Last month, my mother-in-law fell ill and needed to be taken to the hospital. She was frightened, so I told her not to worry, as the master has told us to leave our illnesses in the hands of doctors. So she was calmer and went to the hospital with her youngest son.
I saw all the good things Tzu Chi volunteers have done on DaAi TV. The master says it's a blessing to see the rising sun.
Now everyone in the family is a loyal viewer, and the master's teaching is beginning to change Miss Fang. Last year, she enrolled in volunteer training, and through giving, she learned it is better to give than to receive.
I have young and old bodhisattvas at home, and by visiting others, I realized how blessed I am. My children also learn to cherish their blessings from seeing the plight of others.
Miss Fang is now the financial pillar of the family. Though she does not make much, she is grateful and filial.
Mom, have a cup of tea. May you be blessed with long life and good health.
As it just happens to be her mother-in-law's birthday today, besides the birthday party, Miss Fang also asked her fellow volunteers to help her mother-in-law fulfill her wish of rejoining her own mother.
I lost my own mother at an early age, so I know what it's like to miss one's mother. I really want her mom-in-law to fulfill her wish of seeing her own mother.
Today is my grandma's birthday, so I am very happy to wash my grandma's feet and serve her tea. I learned to do this by watching DaAi TV.
Embracing the universal love, the family has learned to let go and is now wealthy in spirituality.
I may not be rich like others, but I have a wealthy heart.
Recently, DaAi TV's children's program, Big World of Little Reporter, traveled to Malaysia to film some footage for their show and took the opportunity to visit Kuala Lumpur DaAi Kindergarten. While visiting, Little Reporter Tzu Chi went along with the kindergartners to spread Jinsi aphorisms to shop owners. Meanwhile, the kindergartners had a special mission for the Little Reporter. Today, the staff members of DaAi TV's Big World of Little Reporters program are visiting the DaAi kindergarten in Malaysia's Kuala Lumpur. Little reporter Tzu Chi then hit the pavement to spread Jingsa aphorisms to shop owners along with the rest of the kindergartners. Tzu Chi is surprised to see the students continue to smile in spite of rejections. Their upbeat spirit has deeply affected Tzu Chi.
When we were just rejected, of course I was sad, but everyone encouraged one another by saying there's always the next shop, don't give up.
He said no thank you. Not everyone needs to let us in, right? He was kind enough to listen to us and we should be grateful for that.
During lunch break, the students took down the letters on the wall that they wrote to Master Zhen Yan to give to Tzu Chi to deliver upon her return to Taiwan.
I love Master Zhen Yan.
Because of your generous love that reaches all countries, I vowed to study Dharma always.
Thank you, Big Sister, for delivering our messages to the Master.
In Taiwan's Miaoli, we meet Mr. Liu, who is a terminally ill cancer patient and is currently in palliative care at Weigong Memorial Hospital. 3 years ago, he and his wife only registered for marriage and didn't hold a wedding ceremony. To fulfill the couple's dream of a proper wedding, the staff of the hospital and the couple's family members helped them perform the ceremony at the hospital.
Mrs. Liu is finally in a wedding dress, while her 2-year-old daughter is the flowered girl. At the palliative care ward of Weigong Memorial Hospital, Mr. Liu is ready for his big day.
Congratulations and bless you. Mrs. Liu is very strong during this period of time. Seeing how she supports you and looks after you, we are truly touched.
Witnessed by their family members and medical staff, the couple exchanges their rings. And they hold on to each other's hand tightly.
It's been hard on her.
I have no regrets marrying you. If he left, this wedding would be the most precious gift to me.
3 years ago, the couple registered to get married and did not hold a wedding ceremony. When Mrs. Liu gave birth to her daughter 2 years ago, Mr. Liu was diagnosed with cancer. By the end of last month, cancer cells had metastasized to his brain. Thanks to the staff of the hospital and the couple's families, they can finally fulfill their dream.
Staying in Taiwan at the end of the show, recently at the Tzu Chi双He Liaison Office in New Taipei City, a musical concert was held to thank those countless individuals who gave selflessly to help Typhoon Haiyan victims in the Philippines. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.